Have you ever noticed that no matter what you do, someone always has something to say? Well, I have heard this story and it's very funny. It proves that one thing, the people will criticize you no matter what you do. Stick around because this story will not only make you laugh, but also show you how to handle criticism without letting it get to you. It's a story of a salesman and a barber. So salesman goes to his barber and his barber is one of those critical people. Just criticize, criticize, and criticize. It sits in the chair. So the salesman tells the barber that I'm going to go to Italy next week. And the barber says, why would you want to go to Italy? What air carrier are you going to use? So he told him the air carrier he's going to use. And barber says, oh my goodness, I wish you were not going on that air carrier. That's got the worst safety record of all the air carriers. The plane is very rarely on time, just negative, negative, and negative. Salesman sitting in the chair, kind of feeling a little bit bad, and he said, what are you going to do? Well, I have got meeting with some Italian people over there, and I'm going to present my sales. And I'm hoping to sell some articles and merchandises. And the barber says, oh, I wish you are not doing that. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. Italians will talk all day and they will not buy anything. It's going to be a waste of your time to go all the way there. They are not going to buy what you have. Negative, negative, and negative. And the barber says, where are you going to stay when you're over there? So salesman told him the hotel he's going to stay in. And the barber says, I had a station in Italy during the war. And I'm here to tell you, that's the worst hotel in the city. I wish you were not staying there. You will be lucky to get the towels at that place. That's a horrible hotel. I wish you were staying somewhere else. Just negative, negative, and negative. But this time, salesman sat in the chair. He's so discouraged and is muttering something under his breath. And the barber can't hear. The barber said, what do you say? He said, well, I'm just talking to myself. I was hoping while I was in Rome to have an audience to see the Pope. I thought I would drop by and maybe see the Pope. Now the barber is laughing and scoffing and says, you don't understand. He's not going to see somebody like you. He sees presidents and the kings and the heads of states. By this time, salesman kind of just slithers out of the chair and is really discouraged. The month later, he's back in the same barber shop, gets back in the same chair, and the barber says, well, did you go to Italy? And the sales guy said, oh yes, unbelievable trip. He said, the airline you told me you wish I wouldn't fly on? That was incredible. He said, we left out of Kennedy. I got 6 hours of sleep. Unbelievable. I rested so well. Food was tremendous. He said, the wheels of that plane landed on the airport in Italy perfectly on time. It was perfect. One of the barber is just kind of quiet, didn't know what to say to all this good news. Salesman said, not only that, I went to the hotel where you told me I shouldn't go. I never had such service. In fact, when I got out of the taxi, they greeted me at the front door and handed me towels right there. I was in a room that had a balcony that overlooked the Vatican City. It was unbelievable view. I could see the hills of Rome. And then he said, I got my stuff together. I went down for morning presentation. By noon, I had sold everything I had. In fact, I completely sold out. They took some of the orders. I have got to fly next month again because it was the greatest sales meeting I ever had. This negative critical barber, he just can't handle all this good. And the salesman said, but the greatest thing of all, but the greatest thing of this entire trip, I had a private audience with the Pope. And the barber, he's staggered now. He had way too much of good news. He said, oh my goodness, I cannot believe this. I have never known anybody that's seen the Pope. He said, please tell me what happened. Salesman said, well, they took me to this incredible room. There were gold everywhere. There was a red carpet running from one end of the room to the another. I could see in the distance the Pope sitting and waiting to have an audience with him. He said, I was just humbled. I just bowed my head. I walked slowly towards the Pope, understanding that not a lot of people have this privilege. I was humbled, and the only thing I knew to do is I just went on my knees and said, "Oh, your holiness, oh, your holiness." He reached out his hand and he put it on my head to bless me. And he said, my son, where did you ever get such a lousy haircut?" So, moral of the story is you can try to please everyone, but someone somewhere will still find a reason to criticize you. And you know what? That's okay. Criticism is just a part of life. Instead of letting it stop you, use it as a reminder that you are doing something worth noticing. And if you wanted to avoid criticism, do this: be nothing, have nothing, say nothing. Nobody will ever criticize you. If this made you smile or gave you a fresh perspective, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories.
Free audio post production by alphonic.com.